In this video, I'm going to cover adding the Sahha SDK to my newly created React Native app, as well as some of the initial configuration needed. What I have here is a brand new React Native app. I've also added the React navigation library for some basic navigation. This exact empty starting template can be found in the Sahha GitHub Repository. You can clone or fork the repo if you want to follow along, or use it as a starting point for your own integration. We have a branch for each video in this series, so you can start following along from any video or compare the branches to see what I've added at each step. The branch for this video is the step 1/base template branch. The first thing I'm going to do is install the Sahha React Native SDK using npm. In my terminal, I'm going to run npm install Sahha-react-native. Now that we have the SDK installed, the first thing we want to do is some of the initial configuration. In the app.tsx file, I'm going to create our configuration settings object, like this. There are several properties that we can configure here, so we'll go through them one by one. The environment property is used to determine whether you're interacting with our production or sandbox environment. We'll leave this set to sandbox while we develop and test our app. The notification settings property is for configuring how push notifications appear on Android devices. It's entirely optional, and I'm going to leave this out for now. The sensors property is an array of device sensors you want to collect data from. You can find a list of all of the available sensors and their corresponding platforms in our documentation. You can leave the sensors property null to ask for access to all available sensors on the device. Just keep in mind that it's usually best practice to only ask for the permissions you need. For the sake of this demo, I'm only going to ask for the pedometer sensor. Now that we've created our configuration settings object, I'll need to pass it to the Sahha SDK. I've added a use effect here with a call to the configure function, passing in our configuration settings object. I've also added a little useState boolean that we'll use to stop the screen from rendering until the SDK is being configured. When the app initializes, it should attempt to configure the SDK and render the index screen once the SDK has been successfully configured. I'm now running the app to see if it works. And there we go. We've successfully configured the SDK on launch and navigated to our index screen. We now have a new React Native app with a configured Sahha SDK installed.